Eala eyes sweep of Thursday twin duty. Manila, Philippines. Alex Eala shoots for a quarterfinal spot in singles and a semis berth in doubles in twin assignment today in the 2026 ASB Classic at the ASB Tennis Center in Auckland, New Zealand. The Filipina sensation starts her double duty in a team-up with American partner Iva against the seasoned duo of Czechia's Jessica Malikova and Mexico's Renata Zarazua in doubles at 6:30 a.m. Manila time. Later in the day, Eala goes up against Croatian Petra Marcinko, WTA number 82, in the round of 16 duel in singles. Eala returns to action in the WTA 250 level NZ Netfest this morning, riding the momentum of victories in her opening matches both in singles and doubles. Eala, 20, and Jovic, 18, scored a 7-6, 9-7, 6-1 rout of 31-year-old Alina Svitolina and 45-year-old Venus Williams in the doubles opener. But the 53rd-ranked Eala and Jovic, number 35, now face a more decorated tandem with a combined 47 doubles titles under their belt. The 31-year-old Malikova, ranked number 72 in the WTA doubles, has won 29 titles in both the ITF and WTA circuits. Eala eyes sweep of Thursday twin duty. Eala had eyes that never rested. They were not restless in the way of anxiety, but in the way of tides, moving because they must, seen because the world insists on being witnessed. On Thursdays especially, her gaze carried weight. Thursday was the hinge of the week, the day that looked both backward and forward, and Eala lived in that hinge. By dawn, the city was still undecided about itself. Fog stitched the streets together, and the sun hovered like an unfinished thought. Eala stood by the window of her small apartment, coffee cooling in her hands, her eyes sweeping the quiet below. Delivery trucks hummed like low prayers. A man walked a dog that did not want to be walked. Somewhere, a radio argued softly with the morning. Thursday meant twin duty. One duty belonged to the world. The other belonged to herself. She never mixed them up, though most people would have. To the world, Eala was an observer, an archivist of moments that would otherwise disappear. She worked at the municipal records office, a place where time went to be filed. Births, deaths, permits, violations. Paper remembered what people forgot. Her job was to make sure memory stayed legible. To herself, Eala was a keeper of something quieter and heavier. She had learned early that seeing was not passive. To look carefully was to accept responsibility. When she was a child, her grandmother used to say, "Eyes are not windows. They are brooms." Eala had not understood then. Now she did. Her eyes swept. They swept sorrow from faces that tried to hide it. They swept truth from conversations that pretended to be small talk. And on Thursdays, when the week grew tired of pretending it was endless, her eyes swept deepest of all. At the records office, Thursdays were busiest. People came in with urgency, as if the end of the week were a cliff and paperwork the only bridge. Eala sat at her desk, glasses low on her nose, scanning forms, scanning faces. There was a woman clutching a folder like a life raft, divorce papers, Eala guessed. A young man with shaking hands and a new business registration, hope leaking out of him in nervous glances. An old couple arguing quietly about spellings, as if names could still be negotiated after decades together. Eala saw them all. But she did not stare. Her gift was subtlety. A glance long enough to understand, short enough to respect. The sweep of her eyes was gentle, like cleaning a room without moving the furniture. At noon, she took her lunch on the steps outside. Thursday sunlight had finally decided to commit. It warmed the concrete and loosened the city's shoulders. Eala closed her eyes for a moment, letting the light fall across her face. This was the other duty. Inside her lived a second ledger, unwritten and precise. It held the memories she did not file away, her mother's laugh before illness thinned it, the smell of rain on library books, the feeling of being seen once, truly seen, by someone who had since left the city and perhaps the world. Twin duty meant balance. If she gave too much to the world, she would empty herself. If she turned inward too often, the world would blur and grow loud with neglect. Thursday reminded her of this balance because it refused to belong fully to either side of time. It was not beginning. It was not ending. It was becoming. In the afternoon, a boy came to the counter alone. Too young to be there by himself, officially. He slid a crumpled form toward Eala and waited, eyes fixed on the edge of the desk. "What's this for?" she asked gently. He shrugged. "My dad said it was important." Eala read the form. A request for records. Death certificate. Recent. She looked at the boy again, really looked this time. The set of his jaw. The way he stood too straight, as if posture could keep grief from spilling. Her eyes swept and paused. She stamped the form, gave him instructions, spoke softly. When he nodded, relief flickered across his face, quick and bright as a match. He thanked her, voice small but steady, and left. Eala sat still for a moment after he was gone. This was why the sweep mattered. Not to collect sadness, but to clear a path through it. By evening, the sky turned the color of old letters. Eala walked home instead of taking the bus. Thursday air carried a promise, not of rest, but of continuation. She passed lit windows, each one a small stage of private life. Cooking. Arguing. Laughing. Waiting. At home, she opened her journal. This was the only place where she wrote without rules. No forms. No stamps. Just words that came when they were ready. Thursday she wrote, "Twin duty fulfilled, imperfectly but honestly." She wrote about the boy. About the light. About the way her eyes ached, not from screens or strain, but from caring. Before sleep, she stood once more at the window. Night had arrived fully now, confident and deep. The city looked different when it thought no one was watching. But Eala was. Her eyes swept the darkness, not to judge it, not to tame it, but to acknowledge it. Tomorrow would ask for something else. Friday would rush. Saturday would soften. Sunday would reflect. But Thursday had done its work. And so had she. Eala turned off the light, carrying both duties with her into sleep, knowing that as long as she could see, truly see, the balance would hold.